Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Okay. Okay. In the previous classes, we have seen various types of forming. Then later we move to the next topic, that is high energy rate forming or high velocity forming. So we have seen what is a high velocity forming. So actually, what is a high velocity forming? This is actually a forming process. And what is the difference from the conventional forming process? Usually, in conventional process, what we do is we are forming or we are conducting the forming process with low velocities, mainly of the order less than 5 meter per second. And when the velocity is increased to the range of 100 meter per second, then we can call this type of forming process as high velocity forming or high energy rate forming. High energy rate forming. Why we are giving the name high energy rate forming? Because there is a rapid release of energy. How the energy is released? Because the energy, kinetic energy, is proportional to square of the velocity. Based on that principle, we can say when the velocity is increased, energy is got increased, and this particular energy, that is the kinetic energy, is dissipated as the plastic deformation. And using the plastic deformation, we are forming the product. So in the last class, we have seen some of the main advantages. These were the main advantages. And now we'll see what are the basic limitations or main disadvantages of high velocity forming. Limitations. What are the limitations? Though we have many advantages, we have certain limitations also. So that will be discussed now. First one, for this, we need a highly skilled labor. So, first one is the need for high skilled labors. So, high skilled labors are required for the execution of this particular operation, that is high velocity forming. Then, second one, this is not suitable for the highly brittle materials. Actually, this is possible only for the ductile materials because there is a impact or high velocity forming. So forming, we need a ductile material. So this is not suitable for highly brittle materials. Highly brittle materials. Okay. Next one. Here the source of energy. How this is being conducted? We have already seen. The source of energy is mainly some chemical explosives or electrical explosives are there, and due to the explosion there will be some stress waves, or the stress waves will be developed, and using these stress waves the material got transformed or plastically deformed. So this should be handled carefully because there is some explosion and all. So if it becomes uncontrollable, then it may cause some huge explosion and all. So the source of energy, regarding source of energy may be chemical or electrical, anything chemical or electrical explosion. So these are the source of energy. So this should be handled carefully. Handled carefully. Otherwise, it may cause some problem. Okay. Next one, since this process mainly involves the explosion, so for explosion and all, we need many explosives and all. So the usage of the explosives should be within the certain regulations, government orders and all. So these should be followed. Like there will be some safety norms, procedures, government regulations, orders, etc. So that should be followed. So that is the next limitation. That is the governmental regulations. Governmental regulations, procedures, safety norms, etc. These should be followed. Then the whatever dyes we are using for the process, this should be much bigger, because we are using the high strain rate and high shocks are applied, so huge expansion will be there. So accordingly, we need a much bigger or hard having high strength dies should be used. So dies need to be much bigger. Okay. Then so now due to the explosion, various kinds of explosion we have seen, either it is chemical or electrical, anything. So there is a huge release of energy. So this has to be controlled properly. Otherwise, it may cause any problems or anything. So in order to avoid those huge explosion and all, we have to control the application of energy. Otherwise, it may create some crack in the die or anything. So that is a sixth point, that is controlling the application of energy. Otherwise, it may crack. The die or work. One more, that is, so before the operation, that is a particular high velocity forming, we should know the behavior performance of the metal or the whichever work material is being is to be undergone the process. We have to have a good understanding of the behavior, how it may behave to a particular condition, or if we apply a huge explosion to the surface, what may happen, what is the expected change in microstructure, or how it may affect. So that should be known before conducting the process. So that is a one, so essential to know the behavior performance. Behavior performance of the work initially. Okay, so these are the main limitations of a high velocity forming or high energy rate forming process. So first of all, we need a skilled labor. So with a skilled labor only, we can perform this forming operation. Then we have seen it is not suitable to highly brittle materials. It is only possible to ductile type materials. Then we have seen the main source of energy for conducting this type of experiments or this type of forming process is chemical or electrical explosion. So due to explosion, these type of explosions and all, only the plastic deformation is there, and using that plastic deformation, the forming operation is being conducted. So this has to be carefully handled. Then we have seen there are many government regulations, procedures, safety norms, etc. has to be followed in order to use the this type of explosive operations. Then we have seen the need to have a bigger size die. Then coming to the controlling of the application of energy. Then since we have a tremendous amount of energy liberated, that has to be controlled. Otherwise, there will be some cracks in the die or workpiece may happen. And finally, we have seen it is essential to know the behavior performance of the workpiece. So initially, before starting, we have to know or we have to predict the behavioral performance, how it behaves. Now we will move on to the applications where this process can be used, effectively used. So the field of applications. So we may list out. First one, sheet metal panels and tubing. Sheet metal panels. So creating sheet metal panels and tubing for various applications. Then shipbuilding. Next, jet engine parts. Then comes missile nose cones. Radar dish for sensing and all. We have seen that dish, radar dish. Then in certain cases, we have seen some elliptical shaped dome structures. So these dome structures are being created using this machining operation, not machining, forming operation. So elliptical domes in space applications. Then bending of thick sheets. For thick sheets and all, bending can be done using this high velocity forming. One more, that is regarding the same thing. There is spacecraft body parts other than the domes and all. Some other parts also can be made. Spacecraft body parts. So these are the main applications. First one, sheet metal panels and tubing. Then shipbuilding, jet engine parts, missile nose cones, radar dish, elliptical domes, bending of thick sheets, and also the spacecraft body parts. Not only this, but we have other applications also. These are the main prominent one. Okay. Now we will see the comparison, some comparison between the conventional forming and high velocity forming. How we can classify or how we can compare the two process. We have already seen that. Anyway, we are just listing the difference. Okay. So conventional and this is high velocity forming. Okay. First of all, in conventional forming, how it is done? That is we are applying a small pressure at a high interval of time. That means for a long period of time, we are just giving a small pressure or we are applying a small force for a long period of time. That means the velocity is less. That is being already said anyway. So here it is small pressure at high interval of time. High interval of time. So in the case of high velocity forming, just opposite. That is, high pressure is applied at small interval of time. Within a small time, we are applying a high pressure. That is high pressure at small interval of time. Okay. Next, regarding the velocity, we have known that is a forming velocity. Velocity is almost 5 meter per second in the case of conventional. So in the case of high velocity forming, velocity is around 100 meter per second. 100 to 300, that range. 100 to 300 range. Next, regarding the dimensional accuracy, low dimensional accuracy. And for high velocity forming, the dimensional accuracy is high. High dimensional accuracy can be achieved. Now regarding the size of the work, this is for the conventional, using conventional forming, we are able to produce only a small sized works. So small size work, and using high velocity forming, large size work can be done. Okay, large size work. Now regarding the stress distribution or the strain distribution of the material, whether it is uniform or not. For in the case of conventional forming, the strain rate is not uniform. That you will see later why it is. Strain rate is not uniform. Here in the high velocity forming, the strain rate is uniform. So strain rate distribution will be uniform. Now regarding the shape, So here we have only simple shapes can be formed, and it will be difficult to form the complex shapes. Simple shapes can be formed, but here using high velocity forming we'll be able to shape the complex structures. Complex shapes can be produced. Next, the spring back effect. Using conventional process, there will be a spring back effect. Spring back effect means we have already seen, that is if we need a bend like this, that is 90-degree bend, and we are using a die or a portion like this 90-degree, and we are bending through this. So after we are giving a force like this, applying a force like this in order to bend this, when we remove this portion, what happens is this may revert back. There is a tendency to open up to a particular level like this. So this is the spring back effect. And how we will solve this issue? We are using a piece like this. Instead of that, we will make it some more acute like this, so that it will be initially more bent, so it will move like that. When it will revert back, what happens is we'll be able to have a 90-degree structure, or whatever is the desired position we will be able to maintain. So this is the spring back effect. This effect will be there in conventional process, but in HVF or high velocity forming, the effect is very negligible, or we can say there is no effect of spring back effect. Okay. Okay. So here spring back effect is there. Here no or negligible spring back effect. Now regarding the mechanical properties. So by conventional forming, we have good, we can say it is good, but comparing to high velocity forming, using high velocity forming, we are having better mechanical properties than the conventional. So better mechanical properties in the case of high velocity forming. So comparing to HVF, we can say here in the conventional forming we have only inferior mechanical properties. Then regarding the cost for the production, in the case of production, we can say HVF or high energy forming. This will be highly cost effective compared to conventional. So this will be highly cost effective. So this will be less cost effective. Then regarding the production rate of production, this is highly high velocity forming. So using this, we will be able to have a huge, tremendous increase in the production, or high production rate will be possible. So the production rate is high production rate compared to the conventional. So here it is low production rate. Now, one more we can say. This is mainly, that is the conventional process is mainly done using certain tools like hand blow, using hammers and all, hand blows, or even using the power press, using the power pressing die and all. We are conducting the conventional operation. While in the case of high velocity forming, we are using explosives or hydro mechanisms in order to form the product. So this is explosive or hydro forming method. So these are the main comparison, how we can compare the two process. So in the conventional process, the main thing is we are using small pressure. We are applying small pressure in high interval of time. And for high velocity forming, we are applying a high pressure, very high pressure within a small interval of time. Now regarding the velocity, for conventional process, the velocity of forming is around 5 meter per second. And for high velocity forming, the range is 100 to 300 meter per second. That much velocity is being there. Then regarding the dimensional accuracy, for conventional process, we have only less dimensional accuracy. The final product will be less accurate in dimensions. So we need additional machining operations or any other operations in order to have the correct dimension. While for the high velocity forming, we have high dimensional accuracy. Then regarding the size of the workpiece, only small workpieces can be used for conventional forming operation, whereas in high velocity forming, we can use large size workpiece, or large work can be done. And now regarding the strain distribution, it is non-uniform in conventional, whereas uniform in high velocity forming. And regarding the shape, simple shapes, only simple shapes can be produced in by conventional process. And using high velocity forming, we'll be able to shape complex structures. Now regarding the spring back effect, for conventional process, we will have a typical spring back effect, or the effect of the spring back will be prominent for the conventional process, whereas there is no or negligible spring back effect. And also one more thing, that is a wrinkling effect of wrinkling, also not present in high velocity forming. Now regarding the mechanical properties, compared to high velocity forming, or compared to conventional forming process, using high velocity forming, we will be able to have a better mechanical property, or better mechanical properties are possible for high velocity forming compared to conventional process. So for conventional process, we'll be having comparatively inferior properties. Now regarding the cost, That is the conventional process is less cost effective compared to high velocity forming. And also same similar manner, the production rate will be low for conventional and high for high velocity forming. Finally, we have seen the mechanism, that is in conventional forming process we are usually using the hand blowing techniques or power press, using certain power presses and all, whether it is a pneumatic or electric, anything, whatever may be. The application of force is being done by or done using either hand blow or power press. And while in the case of high velocity forming, we are using the explosive techniques or hydro forming methods are being used. So in the next class we will discuss how the or what are the main types of high velocity forming, or some of the classifications of high velocity forming, how it is being done. Okay, so these are the today's topic.